I want to share a story with you, how I was able to fight a witch in my dreams. Now, this happened a few months ago. This is not the first dream and not the only dream that I've had like this. But I want to share this with you to encourage you believers. Listen, when you begin to pray, you got to understand that your prayers are doing something in the realms of the Spirit. So in this dream, the Spirit of the Lord took me. I was in what seems like a market. If you've ever traveled overseas and you go to the market to buy things, or if you're down south, some places you go to the market to buy things, like a farmer's market, we'll call in the States, where they're selling things outside. And I was standing in this place. I've never been there before. I'm not even sure where that was, but I was standing there and I saw a lady. She was about maybe 5'4". She was very dark skinned and she had on short hair, shorter than my hair, real short. And as she stood there, I noticed that people were walking, but it seemed like nobody knew that she was standing there. But I knew that she was standing there. And she looked at me and she turned away. And every time that I wanted to make eye contact with this woman, she couldn't make eye contact with me. And she stood there, and I knew something was up. And immediately, a few moments later, she saw me looking her way, and she started to run. And when she started to run, I grabbed this woman. Now, she had on a lot of different clothes. Like she had like a homeless person. You know when homeless people have like 7 or 8 different clothes and they're all like dirty, nasty. And I'm like, why is this woman, she had on so many different clothing with her. So I picked her up because I knew something was up. In the dream, I picked her up. I slammed her on the ground. I said, listen, I am tired of you following and chasing me around. Because in the dream, even though I was in another world, my spirit was able to let me know that this has been the witch, the monitoring spirit that had been following me for a long time. I don't know how long. But from that experience, I knew that this witch had been following me and caused so many issues in my life. When I slammed on the ground, I put my foot over her and she was like, and she started to growl. I said, you're not going anywhere. I had this lady pinned. And as I had her pinned, I noticed that people recognized that they knew that they started to see her after I slammed her. Before that, they couldn't really see her. And I noticed that people started to watch in this market that I was in. I said, no, I'm going to call the cops and they're going to come get you. And I had my hand on this lady. She's like, and she was growling on the floor. She was trying to turn left and right, but she couldn't say anything and she could not move because I had her pinned very hard on the ground. And a few moments later, I'm telling you, a few moments later, 2 men dressed like police officers. If you've ever seen the NYPD or the LAPD or any police force, they had on the full attire. They had on the handcuffs. They had on guns. They appeared out of nowhere. Those men were not there before. But when I said to the lady that I am going to get the cops to arrest you, what I was doing is I was calling for angelic assistance. And as I began to call out for angelic assistance, God sent 2 angels. I had never seen this man before, but they came ready. And when they came, I picked the lady up. I held her still. One of the guys came, when the cops came over to me, he said, thank you. He grabbed her and put the handcuffs on her, and she was still, and her eyes were turning, her head was turning, but she could not move. She was powerless. She could not move. And the other cop came, and both of the cops, they took this woman and they took her, and the dream just ended.